if we're being completely honest, for many of us, the vast majority of the content we consume in terms of what we watch and listen to is just determined by whatever happens to show up on our social media feeds. It's so important to feed your mind on a daily basis with things that make you feel good about yourself and what you're doing and inspire you to keep going. By which I mean keep drumming in this context and not to keep scrolling. YouTube is a great place to watch videos when you have a little more time to learn something or to watch an entire performance, but lately I've been liking the slightly shorter form content of Instagram for just brief inspirational pick-me-ups throughout the day. As a female drummer, I really enjoy discovering other female musicians who are great at what they do, especially if it happens to be drums, and so I thought I'd share with you a couple of my favorites today. Before we continue, I just want to get it out there that this is not a top drummer list, so I really hope that I won't see any comments saying that, oh, you missed out my favorite drummer so-and-so, because the truth is, I'm trying to avoid all of them. I'm gonna assume you know of Annika Nals, Sarah Thauer, Senri Kawaguchi, Sheila E, Cindy Blackman, all these amazing female drummers, and if you don't know of any of those names, then you will find them on a top drummers list out there somewhere. Without further ado, here are a few ladies that I personally love seeing content from on Instagram, and I hope you will as well, especially if you happen to be a fellow female drummer. First up, we have Kira. I believe she's based in London, and she's a mother of two beautiful girls, which in itself is also really inspirational to see a lady who is managing her mum duties along with her drumming duties, and she regularly posts a ton of engaging content. She likes doing this time signature challenge where she plays a groove in odd time and gets her followers or whoever sees the video to guess what time signature it is. And that's really fun. It's a fun way to engage with your followers and also useful for listening. What I really like about Kira's account is that every post that she makes just makes me feel really blessed to be able to play the drums. And she's so positive and optimistic about everything. It's really encouraging to see, and she just comes across as a very sweet individual. I have actually spoken to her briefly on DMs, and we had really nice conversations. So thanks for that, Kira. It really brightens my day, and I love seeing content from you. Next up, we have Martina from Macedonia, who has recently become a Promark and Evans artist, so congratulations. I really love her groove and the way she plays. It's just very smooth and very tasty. She's also doing some experimentation with sound, so she's put her drums through a vocoder, and I think she does also probably play the synth or program tracks, so she creates some drumless loops and plays along to them. So I would say that she's a little bit experimental groove kind of an account. She also sometimes puts more textural and percussive elements into her playing, which is really cool, and I always enjoy it when drummers put percussion elements into their playing because it makes it feel so much more interesting. Maybe it's just my percussionist background speaking there, but I really love the stuff she comes up with. It's very musical, very tasteful, and she has a great feel on the kit. This is Grace from Manchester. She has a great pocket and she plays very clear, very clean beats that I think are really applicable, especially if you play in a pop or rock context. And the other cool thing she does is she's a bit more experimental with her recording gear. She's put things like a room mic or a closed mic setup versus a 3-mic setup, putting effects on the drums, what happens when you put your toms through overdrive. And so I think if you are a drummer who is just starting to record your kit, or you just want to know a little bit about what recording your kit can offer you in terms of different sounds, she's a really great drummer to follow without getting too complicated into advanced audio stuff that a lot of us who are not so much into the production side of music feel a bit too overwhelmed by. Also, I just love the look of her studio setup with the greenery in the background. It's so unique and it's just very visually pleasing. Okay, this next drummer I only stumbled upon pretty recently, but she is so amazing. Linda is from Germany and she has a percussion African background, which comes across in a lot of her setups. It's very experimental, textural kind of sounds, and if you think that a drum set and playing the drums means only kick, snare, hats, tom, and crashes and ride, you really have to check out her account, because there's so much other creative stuff that you can do to a drum set to get such a variety of sounds out of it. You have to look up some of this stuff. It is really cool. Also, she has crazy chops, which doesn't hurt at all. Speaking of chops, here is Nelli from Latvia, who is recently a Vic Firth artist, and she has some powerful chops. Like the way she hits the drums and the sound she creates from them, it is fairly aggressive, but also super tight. Like, it's not the uncontrolled wall aggression. This is clean aggression we're talking about here. So she has chops, but it's also super groovy, great pocket, and her videos have a really high production quality, both in terms of video and audio. So that probably explains why she is one of the highest follower counts on this list, but her playing is also top-notch. It does not hurt that she plays A&F drums, which are some of the most gorgeous drum finishes out there if you like the old weathered steampunk kind of grunge drum shells. Yeah, it just looks really great, so have a look. Christin Neddens from Germany is another fantastically clean player. She has a great sense of time, and her videos are also really high quality, amazing looking, lighting, very dramatic. The thing that stands out about her account is that she regularly posts these pad work exercises that she writes, complete with notation, and she demonstrates them, of course, super clean, and plays them along to music as well, so you hopefully can see that pad exercises don't have to be boring metronome work all the time. So definitely check out her account if you're looking for inspiration to use your practice pad. Speaking of pad work, the next drummer is one that I kind of heard about or found out about when she was more doing snare work and she was more doing drumline stuff. This is Muse from the US. She used to do a lot more rudimental work, whether it's on the pad or on a snare drum, definitely drumline marching kind of stuff, and she also wrote a rudimental book on etudes for the snare. But lately she's been diversifying a bit into playing more drum set stuff. She's also a multi-instrumentalist, and she plays the keyboard and guitar and creates her own loops to come up with music. And to me, that's also really inspiring, that someone who has achieved such a high degree of excellence in one area, which is drumline playing, would also be brave enough to diversify into a completely different form of music and show that she's still learning and growing in that aspect. And that to me is really inspirational. So definitely check out Amanda's account if you want to check out some crazy snare chops, and hopefully you'll like her music as well. Karmi Santiago is another drummer that I've only recently heard about through the Hit Like a Girl contest. She's from the Philippines, and she's a drum teacher and a working drummer there. She has great fusion and jazz kind of chops, and I realized she also is killer on the snare. So there is a ton of energy there. I love seeing her play, and the great thing is that the music she plays is more of an unusual genre for me, so I don't listen to a lot of that jazzy fusion stuff most of the time, so it's actually quite refreshing to see her take on those parts and play them so effortlessly as well, especially with a lot of crazy hits in the music that she's clearly playing very accurately. Next up we have Roni, who is from Israel and studying or studied in Berkeley. I'm not sure if she's still there or graduated, but this girl has mad chops. Like, that groove and the ghost notes is so good. She's also a multi-instrumentalist, and she does some of these little covers where she sings and plays pretty much everything on the track. What I love best about Roni's playing is the attitude that comes out through her playing. It seems like she's really comfortable in being herself, and she just expresses that in such a great way. I think a lot of us female drummers are a little bit shy about ourselves or what we're doing, and it's just great to see someone who is comfortable in her own skin and just playing however she wants to play. Her feet is also pretty colorful, so it's kind of nice to look at. And speaking of things that are nice to look at and colorful, the last on our list is Chita from Japan, who is definitely by far the most colorful drummer and individual on this list. She's also the youngest. I had the pleasure of meeting her about 2 years ago when she was here in Singapore for Drum Off Global, which she won the girls division for. Honestly, sometimes younger drummers can be a little bit depressing for us older folk because we think back to when we were their age and what we were doing, wasting our lives away when we were their age. But for some reason, Chita is just really inspirational because it's so obvious that she enjoys herself so much on the drums. And I just love the vibe that she gives. Her entire studio and personality is so vibrant. Just scrolling through her feed is like a walk through Rainbow Land. There is so much color, and she recently got this new set of DW drums that I think is customized by Lola Blue. It's super gorgeous and matches her personality and her playing completely. Keep it up, Chita. We're all looking forward to what the future has in store for you. That winds up the list of 10 female drummers that I find inspiring to watch on Instagram. I hope that you'll check them out and share this video with any female drummer friends that you might have. The truth is, as a girl drummer, chances are you don't actually know a lot of other female drummers unless you deliberately look them up, because it's still a really male-dominated industry. Sometimes it helps to know that there are other ladies out there also on this journey with the amazing, frustrating, but totally cool instrument that is the drum set. That's it from me. Take care, and I'll see you next time.